I'm a very confident person, and I feel like the only reason why I've gotten anywhere in my life is because I am so confident, but I was not always this confident. There was once a time when I was a very insecure, very bullied little girl. But I realized that the more that I believed in myself, the more other people believed in me. So at this point in my life, I refuse to water myself down. I refuse to be humble. I refuse to diminish myself. I refuse to not be loud and proud about how much I love myself. Because the person who wins when I'm loud and proud about how much I love myself is me. There are a lot of other people in the world who will win when I'm insecure about myself and when women are insecure about themselves. And I don't mean insecure in a way like, oh, you put on makeup or oh, you do your hair a certain way, whatever. I mean like security and confidence to your core. So much confidence and security where you know that this external shell doesn't mean anything. You love yourself through and through. This is just an avatar, and you are free to do whatever you want with your avatar, but you at your core with yourself and love yourself, and you wouldn't want to be anyone else but yourself. That's what makes you untouchable, and that's what makes you unfittable. You are not going to tell me about me, okay? I know my strengths, I know my faults, I know where I can improve, and I know who I am as a person. I know that I'm a good person, and that's all that I need to know. You cannot tell me anything about myself. The world preys on insecure women, and nothing triggers people more than a woman who loves herself and is confident. That triggers people so much, and people make it their mission to humble that woman and put that woman back in her place. And men and women do this. It's mostly men, but insecure women come after confident women, and they will give it every other reason to why they're doing that other than the fact that they are not secure in themselves, that they are insecure, and they want to set that woman down a peg. Do not fall for it. Being confident does not make you unlikable to other people who are also confident. It makes you unlikable to people who are not confident. It's like the crab in the bucket theory. If you have a crab trying to break out of the bucket and is almost out of the bucket, all the other crabs are going to try to bring it back in. Do not let that happen to you. If someone has an issue with how confident you are, they're projecting their insecurities on you. That has nothing to do with you. And there's a difference between being confident and cocky. Cocky people have a false sense of confidence. Cocky people need to tear down other people and talk about other people in order to feel confident. Confident people are confident because they know that they have their own back. They are not comparing themselves to other people. They are not trying to tear other people down. They are uplifting other people, and they are making sure that they only surround themselves with people who also uplift them. Your confidence has to come from you. It has to come from inside. It cannot come from external validation, because external validation is not reliable. On one day, people are on your side, and on the next day, people are not on your side. You have to derive your confidence from you and from your core. And I think the best way to do that is by keeping promises to yourself. When you know that you have your own back, when you know that you keep promises to yourself and you will take care of yourself and you will pick yourself back up if you fall, that is where true confidence comes from. I have been through hell and back in my life, and I know that I could fall, or that if something bad happens, I will have my own back. I will do what needs to be done in order to have my own back, because I've done it many times before. Okay? I have had to have my own back in so many situations. It's really about being self-aware and having self-trust. That is where confidence really stems from. The world is obsessed with humbling women, and it's because when we are confident, we're harder to coerce, we're harder to take advantage of, we're harder to use, we're competition for other insecure people, we're harder to obtain, and you should be all of those things. You should be hard to obtain. You should have high standards for yourself. And the more confident you are, the higher standards you're going to have for yourself, and the more that those standards are going to make sense. And another good way to have confidence, if you feel like you don't have any, is by being delusional. You need to be delusional. You need to walk around feeling like you're the shit and believing that. And sometimes the only way to trick your brain into doing that is by just lying to yourself. lie to yourself. That's why my whole tagline is Supermodel Billionaire. That is my way of reaffirming myself, and anyone who decides to say that or to use that tagline, that's my way of reaffirming myself that I am wealthy and I am beautiful and I am successful in my life. That's what's important to me, because I know that I'm kind. I know that I have a good moral compass. I know that I am trustworthy. I know that I have all these other great qualities, but the two things that I really want to instill in myself is that I'm beautiful and that I am successful in my life, because those are the two, I think those are like the two core elements of like my trauma, I guess, is like growing up a chubby, nerdy kid and being bullied and made fun of, and also growing up really, really poor. Those are two spells that I want to deprogram in myself, because I want the opposite for myself. And so that's my way of doing it. That's my way of like reaffirming to myself that I am great and that I do deserve the things that I want in my life. And for whatever reason, that shit really, really triggers people, especially the Supermodel Billionaire thing, which I just think is like kind of hilarious because it's not serious at all. But I think if you trigger people by being confident, it means you're doing something right, because people don't bother to tear down people who they don't see as a threat. They only do that if they see you as a threat. So I'm at a point in a weird way where I almost take it as a compliment when someone goes out of their way to try to humble me, because they wouldn't do that if I wasn't a threat to them. I'm very lucky, and I feel like this comes with age. I'm very lucky where I've gotten to a point where I have a very, very unshakable confidence. And I am okay with being perceived, and I put myself out there every day to be perceived, and I'm okay with being misunderstood. And that was just not the way I was for the majority of my life. Like, I really was able to reprogram myself into believing a different truth, into believing a different reality for myself. And I really believe that comes from delusion, and it comes from affirming myself, and it comes from reinforcing beliefs and keeping promises to myself and believing myself over other people. I trust myself more than I trust anybody else, and that is the way that it should be. And that's not like some lonely, like, oh, people can't be trusted, but you really should trust yourself more than you trust anybody else. If you can't trust yourself, how are you going to trust anybody else? If you can't love yourself, how are you going to love somebody else? It's not possible. It starts with you. So I know my faults and I know my flaws, and I either work to improve those faults and those flaws, or I accept them. And that's really all that you can do. I'm not going to zero in on the ways that I am not perfect, because none of us are perfect. And if I zeroed in on the ways that I'm not perfect, then I would look at other people and I would notice the ways that they're not perfect. And that's not the kind of lens that I want to have in my life. I want to look at other people and see them for their best quality. And the only way that I'm going to do that is if I look in the mirror and I see myself for my best qualities. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So the only people that I really trust in life are confident people, because I know that if they look in the mirror and they see and they like what they see, they're going to look at the world and find the positive things about the world and not the negative things. Versus insecure people are going to look at the world and they're only going to see the negative. And that's very dangerous, and that seeps into so many different facets of your life. Taking care of yourself is a great way to develop confidence. Keeping promises to yourself is a great way to develop confidence. If you are going through a phase right now where you are down bad, or you are having a dark night of the soul, this is a great opportunity to develop that confidence, because nothing is going to give you more confidence than the feeling of pulling yourself out of that circumstance. And you can do it. But yeah, I just refuse to minimize myself. I refuse to let the words of insecure people get into my head. And as someone who does content creation, I get so much hate and I get so many negative comments. And I'm really, really grateful for that, because before making content, those kind of people misunderstanding me in that way, or people choosing to misinterpret who I am or misinterpret the things that I say, or just disagreeing with the things that I say, which is totally fine too, or people coming after the way that I live or starting rumors about me or the way that I look or whatever. Those type of things really bothered me in the past because I feel like I really relied on validation a lot. And that is my Achilles heel. Like, that is the thing that I constantly have to check myself for, is like needing validation from other people. And I've gotten to a point now where that's gotten so much better. And it's really due to creating content and like being perceived as often as I am perceived, and having so many people love me and look up to me for who I authentically am and for showing up who I am as who I am. And I feel like my doing that has given other people the confidence to do that for themselves. And that's really what it's all about. That's what keeps me going. That's what affirms me in this kind of like way of thinking. But I promise you, if you do not believe in yourself, you're not going to get anywhere in life. I don't care how hard you work. I don't care how talented you are. If you do not believe in yourself, other people are not going to believe in you, and the world is not going to bend at your whim. The world will move and structure itself to suit the way that you see it. So if you see the world as a negative place, it's going to be a negative place. If you see the world as a positive place, it's going to be a positive place. If you see yourself as beautiful, you're going to be beautiful. If you see yourself as successful, you're going to be successful. It all starts with what you believe. And the world is going to try to shape what you believe, and it's going to try to convince you that the things that you know are true are not true, to suit its own agenda, especially if you're a woman. You cannot let the world do that. So if that means that you have to be delusional and you have to be so over the top confident where it pisses people off, then that's what you have to do, because it is that serious. Okay, you can change your life with your mindset, but it starts with your mindset. It starts with the way that you see yourself. Do not let this world humble you. I swear to God, do not let this world humble you. It is an act of rebellion to be confident and to be a woman. You owe it to yourself, and you owe it to other women to think that you are the Remember that. Don't you dare ever let another tell you that you are not the or that you're not beautiful, or that you're not successful, or that you can't want whatever you want out of your one life. This is your one life. You decide what it looks like.